If you are looking for the exact skills needed to build a business, make money online, and become a millionaire, this is the video for you. I have compiled a few of my best trainings all together in one place so you don't have to go hunt for them. All you have to do is grab a pen, grab a paper, get ready to take a bunch of notes, and then after you get the information, make sure to take massive action on what you learned. Let's jump right on in. Have you ever wondered how some businesses are able to do millions and millions and millions of dollars, but most businesses, in fact, most businesses across America make less than $100,000 per year, even less amount make $1 million a year, and even less than that make more than $1 million a year. Just a few short years ago, when I had started my business, I was stuck at about $50,000 a month. Now you might be sitting here watching this going, 50,000 bucks a month, that would be awesome. Well, if you've been in business for some time, you understand $50,000 a month is not that much. At the time we had 13 employees, my office, I have all my overhead. So we were really struggling. We were in this hamster wheel of, we're working to barely make payroll so that we could work again to barely make payroll. It was a nightmare, and I was racking my brain around the idea, how in the world, I'm talking to other entrepreneurial friends who are saying like, man, we do 100K a month, we do 500K a month, we do $1 million a month. And I couldn't get my brain wrapped around how are they doing this. In today's training, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 skills needed in order to take you from where you are now to your desired result. A lot of people call that success, right? And if you can apply these 7 skills, you will absolutely figure out the formula that caused me to learn. It's easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money in a long period of time. We're covering all of it in today's training. Come with me over here to the board and we're going to get started. Before we can get into the 7 skills, I want you guys to understand, I'm actually going to lay a little bit of a foundation as far as compound interest goes, because that's going to be a precursor to the second part that I want to talk about, which is compound skills, which will lead us to the actual skills you need to go from where you are now to where you want to be in your success. If you're excited, if you're ready, if you're fired up, drop some fire emojis in the comments, okay? So let's talk about compound interest, all right? What is compound interest? It's important that we understand what compound interest is because of where we're going in today's training, okay? So let's say the bank, okay? This is how compound interest goes. Let's say you bring your money over to the bank, okay? And let's say, we're going to use round numbers just for the sake of simplicity, okay? Let's say you come and you bring your $100 to the bank, and just to say thank you for parking your money in the bank. Obviously, this is a humongous way of how the banks make money. Just to say thank you, the bank is going to pay you, let's just say this specific bank, this is high, but again, just for the sake of round numbers. Let's say the bank says, hey, thank you so much for keeping your money here. Just to say thank you, we are going to pay you a 10% interest on your money just to say thanks for keeping your money here. Okay, so after the first year, guess how much you're going, if you don't touch the 100, after the first year, they'll pay you 10%. So guess what happens? All of a sudden now, after 1 year, you now have $110 in your account in this specific situation. Wave at me if you're tracking with me, all right? You guys tracking with me so far, right? But the crazy part about compound interest is it compounds. So let's keep going deeper, okay? So let's say you're like, hey, that was cool. I made 10 bucks for free in this specific context, right? And that was awesome, and I'm just gonna keep my money there again. So, you keep it there an extra year, and they pay you another 10% on this, and now, let's see, 10%, I think that's 121 bucks. Now in year 2, you've got $121 in your account simply because of this concept called, compound interest. Okay? Now, why in the world are we talking about compound interest when, Rick, you were just saying, I'm going to give you the 7 skills needed for success? The reason is because we need to understand when it comes to skills, money is not the only thing that can compound on top of itself. skills can also compound on top of themselves. Okay. In fact, this is the main reason why I'm always harping on the internet, all over YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, all over social media. I'm always putting out posts, probably every 4, 5, 6 posts. I'm encouraging people to invest in themselves. A lot of times people think like joining a mentorship or joining a training program, like, oh, that's a scam, right? Let me ask you a question. What's the bigger scam? The fact that you're grown and you're still broke, or the fact that you're willing to invest in your knowledge and your education to better yourself? Because guys, the punchline is this: no matter what's going on in the economy, no matter what's going on politically, no matter what is happening in the world, no one can take your skills from you, right? In fact, skills are one of the only assets that you can invest into that are fully and 100% recession proof. I need at least 5 people in the comments to drop these words: recession proof. Okay, you want to get recession proof, you've got to invest in yourself. I think it's funny, people are like, man, it's a scam to join programs, it's a scam to join mentorships. Like, what's a bigger scam? Like being grown and broke, I think, is a much bigger scam, right? It's interesting to me that we've all been warned about the beware of the get rich quick schemes, but no one warned us about the stay broke your whole entire life scheme, right? So we've got to break out of this vicious cycle, this hamster wheel of the 9 to 5, where we, this is what they tell us in culture. This is how they brainwash, people so that they can stay small, stay little in their potential financially. Is, okay, you got to go to school so you can go to college, so you can get a good job, so that you can pay for school, right? It's this vicious cycle and no one can ever get ahead. But when you start investing in your skills, one more time, I need at least 10 people in the comments drop the word skills, okay? So just the same way that your money can begin to build compound interest, your skills can build compound interest. And the reason why I need to lay this foundation out first here, just for a few more moments before we get to the actual skills that you need, is because you need to understand the power of what I'm trying to tell you guys when it comes to leveling up your skills. Come back with me here to the board, okay? So check this out. Now that we understand the power of compound interest, I want to share with you guys another level that I call compound skills. Okay? What does this mean? Okay, let's say you are a skilled salesperson. Okay? Some people are, some people aren't, but sales is something that any person can learn, right? There's a psychology that goes to it. And really, any person can learn the psychology and the system of sales. So whether you have natural charisma or, your skill may not even be sales. Maybe your skill is, I'll list a couple of mine. A lot of you guys and gals know, I've been a worship leader for 25 plus years, 79 nations all over the world, probably thousands of churches over 25 years. And so there was a certain set of skill sets that came with that. Number one, I'm just riffing off the top of my head, being confident, speaking and, talking in front of people. That was a skill, right? Because I had to stand up on the stage and lead people in the worship all the time. Networking with people, right? Connecting with people, learning how to bring value, add value to their life. And then when the time came, they would also contribute value to my life. So networking was another skill. I want you to begin to think of, okay, what are the skills that I have? And here's the crazy part about this, okay? The skills that you have, you need to start understanding there's not only one way to use your skill. This is where a lot of people get tripped up, is they only think of using their skill in one specific way, okay? But let's take a hammer, for instance. I'm just making all of this up. Most people are going to think like, man, this hammer, you use it one way. You pound nails. This is the way to use a hammer. And yes, that's true. But what if you were on a camping trip and you don't have any matches for a fire and it's freezing outside, but you have a hammer? Now, the logical mind is like, well, I can't do anything with this hammer. But if you were creative with looking at your skills through different lenses, you could begin to think, okay, this hammer has a wooden lever. I can do something with this. And then the iron piece here, if I strike this against a rock, I could probably get some sparks. And then maybe, you guys see where I'm going with this, right? If you learn how to use your skills in new and unique ways, everything begins to go to the next level in the possibilities. Okay, so the same thing goes for the compounding of our skills. The same way your money can compound in the bank, and over time it just grows and grows and grows, your skills do the same thing. Come back with me to the board and let me continue to explain. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go back to our example. Maybe you've got the skill of sales, okay? And just for the sake of the video today, obviously you guys know I teach digital products. It's a big part of what I teach. Okay, so just with this one skill alone, you know, you can easily make, you can easily make 6 figures a year just by learning how to sell, right? But what if you also had the skill of marketing, right? Just because you're a good salesperson doesn't mean that you are a good marketer. What if you begin to learn how to tell your market about the value that you have to solve their problem, coupled with the fact that you are skilled in the area of sales, okay? So one of these skills by itself is powerful, but when you stack these skills on top of themselves, your skills begin to compound. Come back with me here. So check this out. If you only know how to sell, right, you can make like 100K a year, you know, then you add marketing to it, then you could, with marketing and sales alone, you could make multiple 6 figures in a year, right? But then what if you also had the skill of copywriting? I'm not talking about music copywriting. I'm talking about like the skill of knowing exactly how to write a solid email, or the skill of knowing exactly how to write a very intriguing text to your Instagram post or your Facebook post, right? Now you begin to see, wow, these skills begin to compound on top of themselves. And finally, to the point, guys, it literally gets, you know, and then if you add another skill, this is a wonky looking triangle here, but you know, it gets to the point where these skills start compounding on themselves, and then maybe this skill up here is you have a killer, you're awesome at putting together offers, right? Well, guys, I'm telling you right now, just with this specific skill set, you could go from 100 to multiple 6 figures, and then as these 3 compound on top of themselves, you could go to $1 million a year, and then if you add this one here, right, then you could easily go to 10 million a year, right? So the same way your money can compound, your skills also compound. So you've got to begin to sharpen your skills, okay? It doesn't matter how awesome your axe is. If it's not sharp, it's gonna take you way longer to chop that tree down if it were to be sharp versus if it were to be dull. So whatever skills you have now, this is just one example because we're talking about, you know, business and digital products, etc. today. But I want you guys to begin to expand and open up your mind, and maybe even take a few moments, hopefully you're writing notes down, take a few moments and begin to write down what are your skills. And don't come at me and go like, I don't have any skills. That's a loser mindset, okay? We only want to run with winners, right? You have to see yourself differently, right? You're like, oh, I don't have any skills. Yes, you do. And a lot of times the skills that God has given you, or the skills that you've developed over time, you don't consider it a skill because you're like, oh, anyone could do this. No, they can't. I will tell you all this. Here's a prime example, right? Like this is so embarrassing. I tried to change light bulbs in my bathroom 2 weeks ago and I messed it up, y'all. Like, I am the unhandiest handyman that ever existed, period, right? Like, being handy is not my skill. I remember when my wife and I first got married, this is hilarious. When my wife and I first got married, she was like, yo, now by the way, my wife's dad, my father-in-law, is like the most skilled handyman ever. He builds whole entire houses with his bare hands type thing, right? So he's like mega, does sewage, does electrician, does stonework. I mean, he's a boss. So when my wife and I got married almost 20 years ago, she just just assumed her husband could do all that cool stuff too. And she was like, yo, can you hang this floating shelf for me in our bathroom? And I was like, I can try. Y'all, I went to Lowe's and I bought this jank, weird floating shelf, you know, and I was like, oh, I could do this, right? And then I took it home and I didn't even think to measure. So this thing was like, it didn't even fit. I had to put it in crooked, and I'm like, it looks kind of weird, but she's probably okay with it. And I'm like, hey, what do you think? It's kind of crooked. She's like, no, babe, this is so crooked. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. So I'm like, what should I do? She's like, you have to cut it. You have to cut the shelf. You have to measure. I'm like, oh yeah. So I get a measurement, and then I go back to Lowe's, and then I get like this janked out little baby saw, and it had a pink handle. I don't even know why I bought the girl version, you know, of this little baby, like, you know, 6-year-old daughter, baby girl saw. And I'm like, this works, okay. And I bring this home, and I'm like sawing this floating shelf with no measurements, nothing's holding it in place. I saw it all crooked, and then it was just a nightmare. By the time it was done, okay, there were holes in the wall, like the thing was nasty, it was crooked, like everyone's upset. So why am I telling this story? Because what comes easy to you may not come easy to me. So don't limit yourself and say, I don't have any skills, blah, blah. Yes, you do. You have at least something. I believe that God has given everybody 1, maybe 2, maybe 5. It's the parable of the talents, right? He gives all of us something that you can begin to sharpen and leverage. And, you know, coming to trainings like this, right? Sharpening your skills by listening to trainings like this are going to allow you to add even more skills so that you can get to where you want to get faster in your success path. Okay, so come with me back to the board here. And before we jump into the actual 7 skills I want to give you guys, I really want to break this down for you guys. So for those who don't know, my coaching company is called 𝐑𝐢𝐜𝐤'𝐬. Okay, and all of my coaching programs are underneath, you know, this umbrella, 𝐑𝐢𝐤𝐬. And it comes from Proverbs chapter 4, where the Bible literally says, get wisdom, get understanding in all you're getting. Out of everything you get in life, get understanding, get wisdom. And it's interesting because if you go in to search what the word wisdom means there, it's actually mind-blowing if you don't know this. Check this out. The word wisdom in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew language, is actually, it translates into the English word. Guess what? The English word skill. I think a lot of times there are people, specifically Christians, right, who they ask God for wisdom. James chapter 1, verse 5, right? If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God who gives to all abundantly, right? And we're like, God, give me wisdom. And this is how I absolutely have been in the past, probably like maybe some of you watching, right? God, please give me wisdom. And for some reason, my interpretation of how that works was, God, please give me wisdom. And then God's just going to go poof. And all of a sudden, like, I'm wise. You know, like, it doesn't work like that, right? So the way that we get wisdom is actually to grow in skill, right? And I'm telling you guys this right now. Wherever you are right now and wherever you want to be, the only thing separating you from your current reality to your coveted reality is the level of wisdom or the level of skill that can bridge you from point A to point B. So I want to encourage you guys and gals, the same way your money can begin to compound in the bank, your skills can begin to compound on top of each other. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that here in just a moment, but drop some fire emojis in the comments if you guys and gals are ready for the 7 skills to success, okay? Drop some fire emojis. Let's get into it, right? So we need to press in for wisdom or skill, okay? Let me write you another picture here, okay? So this is you. This is your current situation, okay? And this right here is your coveted situation, whether that's financially or in life or whatever it is, right? And so how in the world do we get you from here to here, right? So many people, they get discouraged in their process because they just can't fathom how in the world is it ever going to change? How in the world am I ever going to break past out of my 9 to 5? How is it even possible that people are making like $50,000 a month, let alone $100,000 a month, $1 million a month? Like that's just, I can't even see how you make this jump. But guys, I'm going to share with you right now, any person can make this jump. But the problem people make is they think they have to make the full entire jump just in one leap. But that's not how it works. Here's how it works. Hey, I really hope that you're enjoying the video. I want to invite you guys. I have recently created a free training teaching people how to make money online. My students are literally making anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And some of them even make hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in a year, but in a single day. If you want more information on how you can get started, all you need is a phone and a laptop. You can go to digitalproductacademy.org or you can click the link below in the description. Guys, after you watch the free training, if it sounds like it might be something cool for you to check out, you can book a free call with one of my client success coaches and they'll be able to help you more. Now, back to the video. The way you make this jump is you need a ladder, right? If you try to just make the jump by yourself in one humongous leap, of course it's impossible. You can't do it. But what if you were to have a skill and this step was a skill and this step was a skill and this step was a skill? All of a sudden, all you got to do is use your skills to go from where you are now to where you want to be. In fact, if you're taking notes, write this down. Everything boils down to first you got to develop your mindset, okay? Then you got to develop your skill set. Then you have to develop your tool set, okay? Mindset is first. If you don't believe that it's possible to go from point A to point B at all, if you are brainwashed by culture like, oh man, rich people are greedy and having money's bad and, you know, I don't want that much, I just want enough to take care of me and mine. If that's your mindset, you are never going to build wealth, right? I think one of the most selfish things that people can say, one of the most selfish mindsets people can have is, oh, I don't want to make as much money as I can. I just want enough. I'm not greedy. But let me ask you a question. Like in any other area of your life, if I were to be like, yo, how healthy do you want your kids to be? Could you imagine if someone's like, oh, just healthy enough? What, you don't want them to be as healthy as absolutely possible? No, just healthy enough, right? Like how thriving do you want your marriage to be? Just thriving enough. You don't want to push it to the absolute maximum potential? No. I'm not greedy like that. I just want my marriage just to be good enough, right? Or how about your health? Like how healthy do you want to be? I just want to be healthy enough. I don't want to be like mega healthy. Like, yeah, I just want to be healthy enough. I'm not greedy. Then why do we say that about our money, right? Like we have to get unbrainwashed and understand our mindset has to be in the right place. If you believe that money's bad, having a lot of money is wicked, then God is probably not going to entrust a lot of it to you. Okay, so mindset, skill set, like we're talking today. Guys, you got to sharpen your skills, man. You got to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to create digital products, right? You got to learn how to build these funnels. Everything that we teach you in the Digital Product Academy program, you got to learn these skills because with every skill you learn, it's another step up the ladder from where you are to where you want to be, okay? And then tool set. What's the tool set? The tool set is the different opportunities that are at your disposal to leverage. What does that mean? Guys, there are softwares out there right now. AI is available to us. Like there are so many tools available, right? That if you were to use the tools, right, your mindset's right, you're growing in skills, and now I'm going to leverage the tools. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you're taking notes, write this down. Mindset plus skill set plus tool set equals success. Not just in your finances, in any area of your life. If you can get those three things down, man, you are going to crush it, okay? So how in the world are we going to get you guys from point A to where you are now to point B, which is your desired income, right? How are we going to get you guys there? Come with me to the board and let's talk about it, okay? This is what I call the 7 skills of success. I'm going to redo the ladder here, okay? The 7 skills of success. Step number 1, this skill right here, Let me thin this out because I'm going to need some space. Okay. This step right here, you got to know your audience. Who in the world are you called to serve? Let's not even make it that deep. Who in the world do you want to serve, right? Like, you've got to know your audience. One of the best ways that you can pick your niche, that's what we talk about in Digital Product Academy, picking your niche. Not finding it, because everyone's like, I need to find my niche. It's like, is it under that rock? Is it behind that tree? No, you don't find it, you pick it, right? So one of the best ways to pick your niche, if you're taking notes, write this down. This is the easiest way to know your audience or to pick the audience that you want to serve. Write this down. Serve the people who you once were. You may not see yourself as like, well, it's not really special that I know how to do this. Guys, I'm telling you, you are more special than you realize. You got to begin to see things differently, man. If you rewind back 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years to who you were then and then who you are now, the best person to serve as far as picking your niche, choosing your niche, what market do I serve? It's that person. Like, rewind back just a handful of years and who were you and what were the things that you wished that somebody could have mentored you on? And then that right there, my friends, that is your market. Don't for a second be like, oh man, this stuff's easy. Like, you can, no, people are looking for help. People just like you have grown into the person that you are. People are looking for someone to give them the sauce on how did you do that, right? And I'll be honest with you. In Digital Product Academy, my wife and I, we were beginners in business with digital products, just 6, now coming into 7, but just a handful of years ago. I was beginning my journey just a handful of years ago, and in the Digital Product Academy, guess what? I am now serving my students and showing them things that I wish somebody would have showed me. The same thing can go for you guys. So number 1, you've got to know your audience. Serve the people who you once were, okay? Number 2, the next step. Let's see if I can make these a little thinner. The next step here, you've got to know how to communicate with your audience, okay? You have to know how to communicate with your audience. Now, language is extremely important. Why? Because without language, 2 people cannot understand one another. So you have got to either, number 1, develop language that your audience speaks, or number 2 is even better, if you serve the person who you used to be, you already speak that language because you once were that person. So you've got to begin to speak the language that people can hear and connect with. Again, you know, I'm a believer. All of my success comes from principles in the Bible. Jesus said, my sheep know my voice. And I say one of the practical applications of that statement is, if you put your voice out there, your sheep will know your voice. But they're not going to know your voice if you don't put some language out there. You've got to start talking to people, man. You got to start putting stuff out there. You got to start talking to people like, guys, are you struggling with XYZ in XYZ market or niche? I was there just XYZ years ago, and I'm telling you, here are the top 3 ways to not fall into the trap of XYZ. Like, talk the language to them, guys. When you speak the language to them, they're going to connect with you on an extremely deep level. And this is where a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs miss it, is they don't know how to effectively communicate to their people. And then they wonder why they never make sales. They wonder why that they can't break past a certain point of income. Well, how come no one's buying my thing? Because are you really truly speaking the language that somebody understands and can connect with? Are you putting your voice out there for your sheep to hear, right? So guys, number 2, you've got to know how to communicate to your market. Let's talk about the 3rd step, okay? You have got to know how to market. Oops. You have to know how to market to your audience. You guys hear me say it all the time. If they don't know you, then they can't flow you. What does that mean? You might have the best, most incredible, solves every single problem for your market, product, or service that exists on the planet. But if no one knows that that product or service exists, no one's gonna buy it from you. Here's a very quick example, okay? Does Starbucks make the best cup of coffee you've ever had in your life? No or no, right? Does McDonald's make the best cheeseburger you've ever had in your life? No or no, right? But why are they some of the most profitable companies in the world? It's because they're the most known. If you're driving down the street and there is a Starbucks on the left that is well lit and there's people there, right? And you're in the middle of nowhere, and then on the right, there's like a shack with like a tumbleweed. There's like an old dog sleeping on the front, right? It's not well lit, the sign's hanging off. But what if that little shack had the best coffee in the world? It doesn't matter, because you're not gonna go to that coffee shop. You're gonna go to what is known. Guys, this whole idea of, don't be known, don't talk about your thing, it's hogwash. You've got to talk about the good thing that God has put in you, because God has designed humanity and he's designed the economy to become obsessive with serving one another. You have things that you can help me with, like handyman stuff, and I have things that I can help you with. And when we become passionate about helping each other in the ways that you help me where you are skilled and I help you where I am skilled, that's how God has set up the economy. That's how God has even set up fulfillment in our souls a lot of times. Yes, there are spiritual parts, but I'm talking about like fulfillment, man. Like, man, what's my purpose? Go help somebody. But you're not going to be able to help anybody if you don't market to them, if you don't tell them about the good thing that God has put in you. So that third skill. And now remember, all of these begin to compound on top of each other, okay? If you only knew your audience and that was the only skill you had, it's still, take me back to the board here, Rome. Consider this, okay? If you only have this skill, okay, and you have this step, it's better than no steps, but this step to get here is still a very large leap. And the same thing goes, if you only have these two steps, it's better than no steps, but it's still a pretty large leap. But can you see now, as you begin to build the skills, it gets easier and easier and easier to become successful. Guys, this is why, if you're taking notes, write this down. This is why it's easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time. People don't understand, when you have skills that have compounded on top of each other, it's very easy to make money. Like, I will tell you guys this, I told you just a handful of years ago, my business, like, we're in the grinder, man, hamster wheel, just grinding, trying to make 50K a month in my business, pay all my employees, etc. Now that I have more skills and they've compounded, it's no big deal to make 6 figures in a day. And that's not to boast, it's just to say I have an easier way to get to success. And the same thing can go for you. All right, so let's go to the next skill that you need, which is number 4. If you're getting value in today's training, just drop some fire emojis in the comments. I'm trying to hook y'all up with crazy value, okay? If you're liking it, drop some fire. So step number 4, what's the next skill that you need? Okay? You need to create an irresistible offer for your audience. Okay? What's an irresistible offer? An irresistible offer is an offer that is so good, it solves their problem so well that they feel dumb if they were to tell you no, right? When you begin to build these skills, stack these skills on top of one another, hopefully by now, if you're on this step of the skill process, you're gonna understand exactly what your market or your niche wants, and you're gonna go, because this is exactly what I wanted 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I wish I could have had this. All you have to do is say, man, I wish I had this and this and this and this. Put those together in the form of digital products and offer them to your niche. You have got to make this offer so irresistible that they're like, I absolutely need this, right? Like, none of us go into the grocery store and walk out like, man, grocery stores are a ripoff. Like, I knew they were scamming me. Why do we not do that? No one's ever walked out of of a grocery store and said, man, grocery stores are the biggest scam. They're stealing our money every day. I'm boycotting grocery stores. Why don't we do that? Because their offer is irresistible. It is literally solving an obvious problem for the market, which is we need food to survive. Your offer for your audience should solve a very obvious problem for your people to where they're like, yes. Guys, that's the beauty of when you have a perfectly fit, irresistible offer. Your clients are no longer going to be like, oh, she tried to rip me off. He tried to rip me up. They're going to be like, this is amazing. This is life-changing. I needed this so bad, right? So start thinking, what exactly did I need, did I want X amount of years ago that if someone would have just put these couple of things or this handful of things together, it would have helped me tremendously. That right there is your offer, my friend, okay? If you're ready for the next step, drop a 5 in the comments. Step number 5. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of surgery here because I'm running out of space. Let's see if I can do this. You come up here, okay? There we go. Maybe I did too much surgery. Okay, let's bring it back down a little bit because I was like, man, that's kind of a far leap. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now step number 5, okay? What's step number 5? Step number 5. You have got to know how to sell to your audience. If you're taking notes, write this down. Selling is good because selling is serving. Selling is good because selling is serving. What does that mean? Guys, if you have this idea that sales is bad, it's going to be really, really, really hard for you to make any sales. Like, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but like the heartbeat of your business is sales. And if the heart doesn't beat, the blood doesn't flow. And what is the flow of blood? That is your cash flow, right? Your limbs will die. Your brain will die. If it doesn't get blood, how does that happen? The heart has to beat, sales have to be made so that the whole entire business can be healthy and thriving and functioning the way that it's supposed to function. So if you're here like, man, sales is so sleazy. I talk to a lot of newbie entrepreneurs who are like, I've got my program, I've got my course is created and I know my niche and I really want to help people. I'm not a salesperson. Stop confessing that over yourself. You are a salesperson. How do I know that? Every single one of us is born a salesman or a saleswoman. How do I know that? Because I have kids, y'all. Like my 3-year-old, right? Dad, can I have an ice cream? No, absolutely not. You haven't eaten dinner yet. Dad, please. No, it's not time for ice cream. Well, what if I, instead of having ice cream now, like what if, or instead of eating dinner later, what if I had a little bit of ice cream now, then I eat dinner and I give a little bit more? Like, guys, all of us have been there, right? Like selling, here's what I need you guys to understand, okay? Selling is not convincing. Please write this down. Selling is not convincing. Selling is persuading. Have you ever hung out with like a best friend and you guys are like, yo, let's go see a movie. And you're like, cool, I want to go see this movie. And your friend's like, oh, actually, I heard about this other movie. We should go check this out. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Let's go. Did that person just sleaze you out? No, they persuaded you to do something that you already wanted to do. Here's the thing, guys. When you have these steps locked in place, your people already want the thing that you have to offer them to solve their problems. So don't feel bad about going, hey guys, I would love to solve your problems. It only costs whatever, $50, $100, $1,000, $5,000, 10,000, 20, whatever it is, right? Like, do not feel bad to serve your people at a higher level instead of just giving stuff away for free. The punchline is this: if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. I can't tell you how many times I have scholarshiped people into a number of my courses. Like, okay, I'll just let you in for free. Those mugs didn't even log in once. They didn't show up to any calls. They didn't get anything done. They didn't make any money. They didn't accomplish anything that the program helped them to accomplish. Why? Because they didn't have any skin in the game. The Bible says that your heart is where your treasure lies. So you have got to become okay with inviting people to put some treasure on the line, because when they put treasure on the line, their heart is going to follow. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you have a $100,000 car, that thing is going to get washed a couple times a week by hand. It's going to be kept in the garage, right? The kids are not allowed to eat in it, right? But if you have like a $500 Honda Civic that you bought from some dude on a back alley just because you needed a car, man, you're gonna let the birds use the restroom on that thing. It's hailing. I only paid 500 bucks for it. You're not gonna take as good of care of something that is cheap versus if you paid a higher price. So don't be afraid to serve your people by selling them. Let's move on, okay? Okay, so number 6, skill number 6. You have got to know how to bring transformation to your audience. If you're taking notes, write this down. We don't sell products and services. We sell transformation. Guys, it's not about how much should I put in the program or what should I charge or should I put 10 courses in here or should I put 3? How long should they be? None of that matters as much as how fast can you get them a transformation. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments to drop this. More is not better. Faster results are better. Why have I built my Digital Product Academy the way that I've built it? I have tried to set the program up in such a way that students can get results as fast as possible if they're willing to take action. And that's how come my students get crazy fast results, because they just take action. I'm not selling a product or service, I'm selling a transformation. So you have to understand, okay, I need to, what's the best way I can bring a transformation to my people, okay? And then lastly, guys, the last step to success. You have got to learn to repeat the process. If you're taking notes, write this down. Don't get bored with it, get paid with it. As entrepreneurs, I'm talking in first person now from past experience. For some reason, we love to launch things, but we have a really hard time following through and sticking with a thing, right? In fact, for years, I had like 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses, and I was trying to get everything going. I'm like, this is how to do it, right? Until a mentor said, why are you doing all of this? And I'm like, well, because that's, millionaires have 7 streams of income, I thought. And he goes, no. You need one thing that you do exceptionally well. Right now, you're doing 10 things less than okay. So because you're doing all 10 of these things less than okay, you're getting less than okay results. But if you were to put your focus into one thing, and instead of getting bored, just commit to the process and repeat that cycle over and over of these steps to success. Guys, I'm telling you right now, you are going to begin to get to success way, way, way faster. Now, here's the punchline I want to leave you guys and gals with, okay? The same way your money can compound in a bank, your skills can compound on top of one another. When you build your ladder of success, you can now use this ladder however you would like. You can move it in between these 2 buildings, or you could go down the street and you can move it in between these 2 buildings. All you got to do is just take the ladder with you and go, oh, I know exactly how this works, right? Because those skills that you have, no one can take from you. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why now is the best time in all of history to create crazy amounts of wealth. And I will also be sharing with you the #1 way to build wealth in 2024. And here's the crazy part. Anyone can do it. Today's video starts with a few different stories that I know are going to encourage you, simply because they are stories of how a number of people went from like struggling, broke as a joke, and now today, just a few short years later, they are all multi-millionaires. Here it goes, story #1, okay? A very close, near and dear couple friend of my wife and I's, husband and his wife and their 3 kids. Just 4 years ago, they were living in a tiny apartment with their family of 5, okay? And the husband was both an associate pastor at a small local church, so they were making like no money working there, right? And on top of that, just to make ends meet, just to try to get by, just to try to pay their bills, he was driving Uber just to try to get like a little bit of extra income, right? Well, this family applied what I'm gonna show you today in the training, and here they are now just 4 years later, and they are multi-millionaires. In fact, I'm so happy I just saw a picture of them on a private jet recently, flying off to a vacation somewhere, and that was awesome. Story number 2. So a buddy of mine just a few short years ago was broke as a joke, living in his dad's church. Him and his wife and their 2 kids, okay? They were broke, they're living in his dad's church. They were super struggling financially. They didn't know how to get ahead. They just thought, man, this is our lot in life. We're just gonna raise our kids living in the church, like super broke, right? But here's the thing. They applied what I'm going to be sharing with you today in this training, and here they are now, just a few short years later. Now they're multi-millionaires, and I'm excited to say he recently just bought a brand new awesome boat, and they are living their dreams, man. So that's story number 2, and story number 3 is actually my story if you haven't heard yet. So my wife and I, whenever we first got married, we actually were living in Section 8 housing. We were super struggling, just trying to figure out this whole money thing, like what's going on. Fast forward just a few years ago, we began to apply what I'm going to share with you today in the training. And here we are just a handful of years later. Our businesses have generated tens of millions of dollars. And now we're not just building wealth for ourselves. We're not just building wealth for our children. We're working on building wealth for our children's children. Now, I don't want to try to dangle this carrot in front of you like, well, just tell us what it is. Guys, I am here to teach you today why digital products are the #1 fastest and best way on the internet to create wealth right now in 2024. Now, in the training here in just a few moments, I'm going to be sharing with you a number of different opportunities that are online right now. I'm going to show you the pros and the cons, and then I'm actually just going to show you why I believe digital products are the best way that anyone can create wealth in 2024. I mean, like, think about it. Like, back in the agricultural days, okay, the way that you would build wealth in the agriculture days is you had to have land, right? Because in agriculture days, the way that people would make wealth is they would have big crops, right? And wealth was moving slow in these days because the only time you could sell crops was you had to wait for the weather. You had to wait for rain, you had to plant seeds, you had to wait for the season. Hopefully it was a good harvest, and then if you harvested it, then you could sell. And so wealth was moving very, very slow in the agricultural age, okay? Then fast forward and the industrial age came, right? People started understanding like, wow, we should actually invent some machines, and maybe we can speed this up with machinery and with factories, right? And wealth was still moving a little bit slower because now, even though it wasn't just waiting for the weather or waiting for the seeds and the harvest time and the ground to be tilled, now we are just, going off of machinery. Even though it sped the process of wealth up, wealth was still moving a little bit slower because now you needed like a ton of manpower. You needed somebody to drive the tractor. You actually needed workers to actually, get into these factories and do all of the processes that the factory would do. So they could mass produce all of these products so they could make more money. But again, wealth was still moving slower, a little bit faster than the agriculture age, but still moving slower. However, today in 2024, we are living in the internet age, man. We are living in the age where wealth moves extremely rapidly for those who take advantage of the opportunity of internet, of the opportunity of softwares, of the opportunity of AI that is here at our fingertips. And here's the crazy part. Before you go, oh man, this isn't for me, or I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I don't know how to figure that out. I'm telling you right now, everything is figure outable, right? Like every single one of us came to this planet. None of us knew how to walk, but we figured it out. None of us knew how to drive, but we figured it out. Like there are things in life that are worth figuring out. And I submit to you today that if you were to actually pay attention to what I'm going to show you in the training today, you're going to discover, wow, I can figure this out and I can speed up my wealth creation by simply taking advantage of what's available to us today with all of these incredible opportunities that are online. Okay, so come with me here to the board. I'm going to break down 4 different opportunities that are available today on the internet, show you the pros, show you the cons. I personally believe that number 4 is the best, digital products, but let's look into it so you can make your decision for yourself. Come with me here to the board. The first option that you might be seeing everywhere, especially if you are a new or an aspiring entrepreneur, you are probably hearing about this opportunity called Amazon FBA. Okay, so what is Amazon FBA? Amazon FBA is an online opportunity where you can, start a business. And the way it works is when you go to Amazon.com, see, many people think when you order something from Amazon, you're actually ordering it from them, but that's not how it works. Some products you are actually ordering directly from Amazon, but most products that you order from Amazon are actually being sold by third-party sellers who upload their products through the Amazon system, and then they are selling their products through Amazon's software. Yes, even products like Crayola, even products, Lysol, even name brand products that you're buying off of Amazon, chances are you're probably buying that product from a third-party seller, okay? And that third-party selling business is called Amazon FBA. Okay, so here's the thing. I actually have ran a pretty successful 6-figure Amazon FBA brand before. And the pros of Amazon FBA are there is potential to make some money on Amazon FBA. I did make some money with my Amazon FBA brands. But the cons, come with me back here to the board. I got to show you this, okay? What they don't tell you about Amazon FBA, if you're getting hit with ads like, you could start your own Amazon store. Another way that they do this is you might be hit with ads on like, we will build you your own Walmart store. And again, online Walmart, online Amazon, you're not necessarily buying directly from Walmart or Amazon, you're buying from third-party vendors. Okay, so what are the cons to this? One of the biggest cons, there is a huge upfront cost. I didn't know this, see, because a number of years ago, whenever I started my Amazon FBA brand and my Amazon FBA store, not only did I invest into the education, like, okay, I'm going to invest into the education so you can show me how to do this. I don't necessarily see that as an upfront cost for the actual process. That's more of like, I'm paying for education, so I get that. That's not a big deal. But what I didn't know is after I invested into the education, then they're like, okay, cool. Well, now that you're here, it's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars for you to set up your store, to hopefully find a product that is profitable. And no one can tell you if it is profitable or not. You're just going to have to order a bunch of units and wait for them to come over from China on a boat. If you want to get them here faster, you can fly them on a plane, but it's going to cost thousands of dollars more. And hoping everybody at the customs dock scans everything correctly, because one time someone scanned my stuff wrong, lost my shipment, and it costed me $6,000 just because someone scanned my stuff wrong. So hopefully after you make it through all of this entire process, then you put it up onto Amazon and wait and see. Hopefully someone's going to buy this. And if they do land up buying your product, you're only making between a 10 to 20% profit margin. So the crazy part is this, like if you sell a $20 product, right? That 10 to 20% profit margin, you're literally only making a couple of dollars if someone buys your product, if your product actually made it overseas, if it's actually a product that people want. And so the crazy part with Amazon FBA, it is a gigantic gamble to discover like, man, maybe I could sell a couple products. And if all of this thing, if all of these ducks line up in a row somehow miraculously, then you have to sell thousands of units just to make a little bit of money. Because again, you're only making like a 10 to 20% profit margin for most people. Now you might get hit with some ads like you can make up to 30%. Well, maybe the person that's been doing it forever, who's mastered the system, who already has tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest up front, yeah, maybe they might get a 20 to 30% profit, but most people, guys, it's only, not only is there a huge upfront cost, there's a very low, there's a very low profit margin with tons, I'm talking tons and tons and tons of work. And honestly, there are many variables that are outside of your control. Okay, so if you desire to set up your own Amazon FBA / your own Walmart type of third-party seller business, by all means, knock yourself out, but beware of this stuff. And look, hopefully you're getting value out of this today, because no one on the internet is going to tell you about this stuff, but your Uncle Rick will. Why? Because I actually have been there, done that. Why do I teach my students about digital products? Because I've already done a ton of the stuff I'm going to show you here. I've already been through the pain of it all, so you don't have to. And I'm going to show you why digital products are the best. But before I do, let's go to number 2. Okay, number 2. What's another huge online opportunity that's out there right now? Another huge one is affiliate marketing. Okay, now affiliate marketing is pretty. It's been big for a long time, but it's like, you know, a lot of people are putting out ads on it right now. A lot of people are trying to create offers around affiliate marketing. Here's the pro of affiliate marketing. The pro of affiliate marketing is you don't have to create your own product, okay? All you do is just sell somebody else's product, and then you make a percentage off of the sale of their product. That sounds pretty cool, unless you actually know how the game works. Again, I've had Amazon FBA stores. I've done affiliate marketing. Let me show you the cons. And you might be sitting here like, he's only showing us one pro and like 50 cons, because that's how the game works. That's how these businesses are. That's how these opportunities are. I'm just trying to share with you guys how it works. And no one else on the internet is going to show you this, but I will, because I've been there, done that. So come with me to the board and let me show you the cons, the dark side of affiliate marketing. Let's check it out, okay? So like I said, affiliate marketing, one of the pros is you don't have to create your own product. That's cool. But the con is this. You're selling someone else's product. Like, let me ask you a question. Like, would you rather sell someone else's product and make them more rich, or would you rather sell your own product and make yourself rich? The answer is obvious. I want to sell my own products so that I can have all of the profit and not just a little bit of profit. And that's one of the second cons. Check this out. So as you're building someone else's business for them, not only are you selling their products, but number 2, you're only making a small percent. You are literally selling somebody else's product, building their business for them, and if somebody buys, then they're like, hey, thank you so much. Here's your 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% commission. And all they have to do is just lay in their bed, chilling, hanging out by the beach, you know, drinking a nice, cool drink while you're out there building their business for them. And they're like, this is great for me. It's free money for me, right? So when people are like, oh, I got into like this affiliate marketing thing, I'm always, in fact, I was just at Starbucks yesterday with one of my sons, and he wanted to go in and get a little drink. And while we were waiting, there was a guy trying to sell another guy into his affiliate marketing. He's like, look, man, you don't even have to create your own products. All you got to do is sell the products, man, and get it out there. And whenever you sell it, you can make this much and that much. And the guy being sold was like, this sounds like a lot of work. And the guy selling him was like, no way, man, it's not a lot of work. Like, because I know, and you now know, of course, this guy was trying to sell him into affiliate marketing because he was basically trying to recruit a worker to build his business for him. So like, who wouldn't want that if you're on the other side, right? So beware of affiliate marketing. Honestly, guys, there's a lot to say about affiliate marketing, but the punchline is this. You're building someone else's company, someone else's business for them. You're making a small profit. You're doing most of the heavy lifting work for them. They're just sitting back and collecting. And the saddest part about all of this is people are like, well, I don't have to create my own product. The problem is, if the product actually stinks, if it's a bad product, you're going to have a super hard time selling the product. Okay, so you really want to steer clear of affiliate marketing as well. And let's come on to the third option that's out there, and then I'm going to get into digital products and give you a step-by-step breakdown on how you can crush it this year in 2024. But number 3, another popular option that's out there online, maybe you've seen some of this stuff, is Airbnb arbitrage. So what is Airbnb arbitrage? There are opportunities out there on the internet right now. They're like, yo, you can make money online with Airbnb. Like, all you got to do, you don't even have to buy any of the properties. Like, all you got to do is get this property, and then you only need a certain amount of people to rent from you every single month. And before you know it, you're just printing cash. You know, like, that's what a lot of the Airbnb opportunities on the internet are saying. And again, I just want to put this out there. The pro of Airbnb arbitrage is you could potentially make money if somebody rents the property for enough nights every single month. You potentially could make $1,500 to $3,000 profit. That's usually like the zone that most people land in as far as their profits. But that's only if you have people renting the property like 20 to 25 nights every single month. So that's the pro. What are the cons? Come with me to the board. Check this out. What they don't tell you about Airbnb arbitrage, and I'm just kind of giggling because, like, of course, everyone's going to be like, man, you can make money doing this. You can make money doing that. You can make money doing this. But the problem that people don't tell you is the behind the scenes stuff that I'm telling you. Okay. So Airbnb, one of the big cons, again, huge upfront cost. Okay. So people are going to be like, you don't even have to buy the property. Well, that may be true. You can actually put the property under contract, you yourself as a renter. But the problem is this, like, you actually have to go purchase tens of thousands of dollars worth of furniture to furnish the property. Because think about it, if you were searching online an Airbnb, you're not going to stay at a place that has like one couch, one table, and a fork in the kitchen. You're gonna be like, what the heck? This place looks like really trashy. You want to go to a place that actually has nice linens and they have cool decorations, and wow, this looks so beautiful over here. Wow, look at this room. You're not just going to go to the place that has like a bed, a blanket, a chair, and a coffee pot. Like, you have to furnish these places, man. And not only is it thousands of dollars, most of the time the average cost to furnish, just basic furnishing. I'm not even talking about like, wow, this is breathtaking. I want to book here 20 to 25 nights a month. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about basic furnishing. And if you've ever furnished a house, you know what I'm talking about. It's tens of thousands of dollars up front with you on the renter agreement. Okay, so if nobody rents the Airbnb from you, guess who still has to pay the rent every month? You. So you don't even have to purchase the property. No, you don't. But you definitely still have to pay that rent, whether somebody rents or not. You definitely have to furnish the property if you want to get renters, okay? And here's the other crazy part. Okay, so again, you have to pay the rent no matter what. So if someone rents or not, that is still hanging on you, my friend, because your name is on that rental contract. And number 3, it's actually really hard to get consistent renters. Oops. Even in tourist locations. Why? Because if you somehow have tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars to get an Airbnb under contract, you as the renter, and you furnished it, and somehow you're in a tourist city, okay, now There's a bunch of other Airbnbs. You've been on there, I've been on there. You're just scrolling through, you're looking. There's 500 houses that you could potentially choose from. Like, the chances of you actually getting that many bookings in a month are very, very, very slim. And here's the crazy part. A lot of these people presenting Airbnb arbitrage as the main opportunity. This is the best opportunity. Guess what they're telling you to do if you want to scale, if you want to make more money? All you got to do is get 2 Airbnb properties. And you're like, wait, what? Like, I literally just invested $15,000, $20,000 to make $1,000 or $2,000 a month profit if somebody rents 20 to 25 nights a month. And now you're telling me if I want to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month, I have to have 2 Airbnb properties, and it's going to cost me not just 15 or 20,000, it's going to cost me 30 or 40,000. Like, guys, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So why are digital products the best? Okay, let me break it down for you here. Okay, here's something to know. Amazon FBA, these Walmart stores, if you do the done for you option, it could literally cost upwards of $30,000 to get started. The potential monthly profit is anywhere from, actually, let me write this differently. So there's usually like a $20,000 to $30,000 upfront startup. And then the potential monthly profit, if all that stuff goes right, maybe $3,000 to $5,000 a month, maybe. And that's like if you're a master at it. Okay, affiliate marketing, a lot of times you have to buy into their program. Startup costs for these, usually like around $5,000. You might find a cheaper one, like $1,500 to $2,000, but again, maybe they're cheaper because their product kind of stinks, right? The potential monthly profit, I mean, it's really low as well. Maybe like $1,000 a month, maybe $2,000 if the product is good. Airbnb arbitrage, don't even get me started here. It's tens and tens and tens of thousands. Let's just put 20,000 on the low end to get started, right? And then the potential monthly profit per house, if you rent it 20 to 25 nights a month, maybe $3,000 a month, okay? So notice, let me get my little laser out here. Notice all of these startup costs are pretty high with a very low monthly potential return, right? 30 grand over here, 3 to 5K, 5 grand over here, 1 to 2K, 20 grand plus over here, maybe 3K. So let's get into digital products, okay? Digital products. Now, I want to be very transparent with you guys, okay? Like, I showed you on the other 3 options, I showed you the pros and the cons. So I also want to tell you the pros and the cons of digital products, okay? I'm going to start with the cons because unlike the other opportunities online to make money, this actually has very low cons and tons of pros, okay? So one of the cons for digital products is that you actually have to build the product, which to me, is it really a con? Like, you have to actually put together the ebook, the course, the mentorship, right? You actually have to think and put together this digital product. Sincerely, that is probably the hardest part of digital products, is just coming up with what product should I create. And by the way, what are digital products? Let me list a couple of ideas for you here. This would be any kind of educational resource, ebooks, online courses, mentorships. You could do membership sites to where, you know, you build a library of teachings and people pay you X amount every month, okay? So one of the cons of digital products are you actually have to build the product. But is that really a con? Like, I think most people are delusional to think that I'm just gonna make free money. Like here's the crazy part. With digital products, okay, as far as startup costs, let's get to the pros now, okay? So what are the pros of digital products? So the biggest con is you actually have to create the product, but honestly, you're gonna have to do some kind of little work. Putting together a course or an ebook, especially if you have mentorship, like, that's really simple to do, okay? Digital products, besides if you want to invest into education for digital products or not, there literally could be no Startup cost. Like, you can literally create a digital product on your phone. You can literally create a digital product by turning on Zoom, pushing record, and creating a training. And then after it's all done, you just edit it and then you put that out there. That's a digital product, right? So unless you want to invest into education, which personally I think is the fastest way to get trained in digital products, okay? But if you don't want to invest into education, that's fine. You can literally start creating digital products with your phone and your laptop. So potentially there's no startup costs, okay? What else? Digital products, unlike affiliate marketing, unlike Amazon FBA, there's 100% profit margins. What? Literally, because here's the thing, you created these products, you made that training, you built that ebook, you created that course. It belongs to you. And now, if you make a sale, when you make a sale and put it out there, you now collect 100% of the profit, not just an affiliate fee, not just thanks Amazon for my $3. You literally, if you sell your course for $1,000 and when somebody buys it, guess how much you make? $1,000. Like, do you know how many hours you actually have to go to work to make $1,000? Probably a lot. But what if you were to put in work? Like, what if you were to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours creating a course or a mentorship or a membership site or an ebook? You put 3 to 5 hours into building this product. Again, that's the con of this. You actually have to do the work, but is that really a con? Building this product, you work on it one time, and this is the next pro, okay? You work one time, and then it pays you over and over and over and over again. Maybe you've heard me talk about this before. When you go to a job, you work, and then you get paid once every 2 weeks, once a month, right? However your pay schedule is, maybe once a week. With digital products, you work, you build the product first, and then when you put it out there and people start buying it, you get paid. It's literally the opposite of going to a job. Going to a job, you put in all this work and you make a little bit of money. With digital products, you put in a little bit of work and then you make all this money, right? So there are so many reasons why digital products are incredible. Let me tell you another pro about digital products. You can literally have as many digital products as you want and potentially make unlimited amounts of money. Here's why. Remember what I said? Like, the con of digital products is you have to do the work and create the product. But think about this. What if you created a course and it took you 5 hours, okay? Okay, I worked 5 hours and now I have a course. And then this thing, maybe it's selling for $297, $997, right? $197, $97, whatever it is. If you want to make more money on top of what's already happening with that one digital product, you create a second digital product. I created a course. People are buying it every single day. I sell a few of them every day for $497. What if I created another course around a complementary subject and I put that out there? Guess what's going to happen? Again, you're going to put in that 1, 2, 3, 5, let's even takes you 10 hours to create another course. Guess what? That small amount of work can and will produce tons and tons and tons of revenue. So guys, and that leads me to one more thing. This is when you do this correctly and you have a number of digital products out there, this literally gets crazy passive. In fact, on the screen, this is one digital product of mine. I made over $400,000 in a single month from one of my digital products. Like, think about that. Like, that is mind-blowing to think, oh my gosh. And I'll be honest with you, I have tons of digital products. That's just one of my digital products. And guys, here's the punchline. Like, I'm not more special than you. Like, I don't believe I'm more smart than you. Like, anyone can do this. Anyone can literally do this. Anyone can put together digital products. Anyone can take their knowledge, their experience, their passion, their expertise, and they can put it into some kind of educational resource where there's not gigantic startup costs, where you don't have to share the profits with somebody else, where it's not going to, cost you $15,000 to furnish the whole entire house. It's literally like, open up your phone, open up Zoom, and create products that educate people on the thing that you are experienced in, knowledgeable in, passionate about. And before you go any further and go, well, no one would want to learn from me. Yes, they would. Think about who you are today versus who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Don't you wish somebody could have shared with you what you know now? Don't you wish somebody could have shared that information with you 5 years ago, 10 years ago? The answer is yes. Gosh, I really do. I could have gotten here faster. Exactly. So not only am I going to show you why digital products are incredible, now I'm going to take a few more moments and give you a crazy blueprint on how to build your business with digital products that can literally skyrocket your wealth to millions and millions of dollars. Come with me back to the board, okay? So now that you understand how powerful digital products are, I want to give you a 5-step system. 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna have to lower this here. 5, okay? I'm gonna give you a 5-step system to go from $0 to up here. Let's just say you are up here with a huge smile on your face. Woohoo! Because up here, you are making potentially millions of dollars. So how do you go from down here, I'm not making any money at all yet, to up here, potentially making millions, okay? How do we go from there? I'm glad you asked. 5 very simple steps. Step number 1, okay, this right here, lead generation, okay? So what is lead generation? Every single business, whether you are In-N-Out Burger, Starbucks, Apple, Amazon, Nike, any business, every single business is downstream from how many leads you can bring in to your business. What is a lead? A lead is somebody who is a potential customer, right? So the first thing you got to do with your digital product is you got to start generating leads. The best way to do this is with an ebook, okay? Now, what is an ebook? Again, you are literally, just keep following me here on my YouTube channel. I'll show you how to make ebooks too, okay? An ebook is something you're literally going to take the knowledge, experience, the expertise that you already have, the passion you already have, okay? And you're going to put it into a small form, kind of free resource that teaches people the thing that you are awesomely good at or awesomely passionate about, and say, yo, if you want more information about this, click the link in my bio and get my free ebook. And now what they're going to do is they're going to say, man, this gal is awesome. This guy is awesome. I would love to get more information. And they're going to click the link in your bio, and they're literally going to go, this is sounding cool. And you're going to say, I would love to give you this free ebook. All you have to do is give me your name, email, and phone number. And so they go, okay, cool. And they give you their information. You give them your ebook, and now you have a lead, right? Like, that's how this whole thing starts. So now that you have leads, they're like, okay, this is cool. What do you do next? I'm glad you asked. Watch this. The next part of this process, you want to have a low ticket product. Okay, what is a low ticket product? A low ticket product in this sense is anything $1,000 or under. It could be as low ticket as $7, that's pretty low, $20, $50, $100, $500, up to $1,000, okay? And the best way to step up is to have a low ticket product, and I always encourage my students, this is where you can sell a course, okay? So here's how it works. You're generating leads with your ebook, which is a digital product. And people are like, wow, she's really cool, or he's really cool at this thing that he talks about all the time, or she talks about all the time. And I got their free ebook. Well, now you have their email and their phone number. You can reach out and say, yo, John, if you like the ebook, you should really consider checking out my course. It's only 47 bucks, right? It's only 100 bucks. It's only 20 bucks. And you step them up and they're like, wow, okay, this is cool. I love their content. I have their free ebook. It was really cool. I would totally love to buy your course. It's only 50 bucks. Cool. So now you're starting to make money climbing this ladder, right? So what's the next step after you've gotten lead generation going, after you are generating a little bit of money from a low ticket product, right? What's the next step? Well, the next step is you want to go to a premium value. A premium value product, okay? And this right here, this is a mentorship, okay? So now, if they're this far up on the ladder with your digital products, they're probably like, wow, I really like her, I really like him. Her stuff is helpful, his stuff is helpful. This is cool. How do I know this? Because they've came in as a lead, they've exchanged value with you at the point of, here's my free ebook, here's my name and email, and you guys have swapped that, right? Then maybe they've purchased your course for 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 200 bucks, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever it is. At this point, after they've purchased a course from you, they're really starting to like you. They're really starting to trust and to invest into like, man, this guy's awesome. I want to learn even more from him. I want to learn even more from her. So what's the next obvious step? The next obvious step is to offer some kind of mentorship. Okay, so the mentorship, the ebook here, let me break these prices down. Ebook, usually I suggest people do this for free. Course, like I said, upwards of, anywhere from $20 upwards to $1,000. Well, a mentorship, you can literally charge anywhere upwards of $1,000. This might sound crazy to some of y'all. You could charge anywhere from $1,000 all the way up to $20,000 in a mentorship. And before you go like, what? Who's going to pay me $20,000? I'm telling you right now, if you can build the trust like this, if you can bring them tremendous value, if you really can bring transformation in people's lives, and they start seeing, man, the ebook was awesome, the course was awesome, man, this mentorship, I know it's going to be awesome. They will absolutely pay you thousands of dollars to help them get to the next level in the area that you are trying to help them to, okay? And then here's the other thing. After the mentorship, okay, so we start with lead generation, then low ticket, then premium value, and then you can work your way all the way up to a high ticket product, and these are usually called, why can't I write? These are usually called masterminds. Okay, and the mastermind, this you can charge anywhere from 20K all the way up to 100K plus. I'm in masterminds right now where I've paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And think about it, like, it's not just like, man, well, Rick, you already made money. No, I went on the very path that I'm trying to show you how to go on. Like, I didn't wake up right as soon as I was born with millions of dollars. Like, I did what I'm showing you how to do, right? And so with a mastermind, you can charge anywhere from 20K up to 100K plus. And then the top level, this is the highest level. And this level right here, it's usually one-on-one mentorship. And this one right here, as you can only imagine, this one is usually, this one's usually 100K plus. I've also done this. I've also invested hundreds of thousands for personal mentors. But guys, I'm telling you right now, even before like maybe your mind's getting blown with like, oh my gosh, like, will people actually pay me? Yes, they will. And the reason why they will is because if you can bring the transformation that people want through your digital products, then people will absolutely pay you. So here's the thought I want to leave you with today, okay? As you're going through online, you're trying to find these different opportunities. There's a bunch of opportunities out there, guys, okay? I've given you the pros and cons to all of them. Well, not to all, but to a lot of them today. But the punchline is this: digital products are the best way to make money in 2024. Anyone can do it. All you need is a phone or a laptop to get started, guys. What if becoming a millionaire was less about making money, less about working more, less about working harder, and it just came down to simple third grade math? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you just how simple this can actually be. In fact, you are going to be so mind blown that you would have wished that you would have found this video much sooner than you did. All right, so in today's training, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact step-by-step simple process to go from where you are now to where you want to be. And chances are, if you're watching the video, you probably want to be a millionaire, which I think is awesome. So the first question you got to start asking yourself is it really important for me to become a millionaire? And hopefully that answer is yes. Second question, are you making less than $10,000 to $15,000 per month? If the answer is yes to that, then that tells me something about you. You are probably struggling. Now, I'm not saying that you're American poor, but you are probably struggling. You probably can't go on the trips that you want to go on. You probably can't give as much as you would like to give. You probably can't afford to send 2, 3, 4 kids to private school, right? Like you're getting by okay, but you're not able to live life to the fullest beyond, just kind of, well, we're kind of getting by if you're making less than $10,000 to $15,000 per month. And the third question is this: what is a millionaire? Like, have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever considered what really is a millionaire? A lot of people just think, oh, a millionaire, you have $1 million, so you're a millionaire. That is one of the ways, but it's not the only way. So before I can break down the millionaire money math that all of you are going to learn here in just a moment, let's really understand, okay, what is a millionaire? Check this out. So what is a millionaire? I submit to you that there are multiple kinds of millionaires. In fact, there's 4 different kinds. And the first kind of millionaire, I like to call this an asset or a net worth millionaire, okay? And this is the kind of person who, if you put their assets and minus the liabilities, okay, if this equals $1 million, let's just put 1M for 1 million. If this equals 1 million, then congratulations, you are an asset or net worth millionaire. For instance, you could start a real estate company and have $2 million worth of multifamily apartments, and maybe you owe $1 million on the note, but the equity in the apartments are $1 million. Well, this would make you a millionaire, an asset or net worth millionaire. And this is a very traditional way of how at least my parents' generation and their parents' generation measured, millionaire. But guys, we are living in 2024. We are living in a brand new age of opportunity. I'm going to get to it here in just a moment, but I'm telling you right now, yes, this is a way to become a millionaire, but it's not the only way, okay? So let's look at the second kind of millionaire. Second kind of millionaire is a passive income millionaire. Okay, what is a passive income millionaire? Let's break it down like this, okay? So a passive income millionaire has basically built enough passive income that you can live the lifestyle of somebody who has $1 million invested into whatever, an investment into the market. And traditionally, let's say you had $1 million invested into the market and you were making a 6% return, okay? Well, that would come out to be roughly $60,000 per year passive income from your $1 million investment, right? So if you break that 60,000 down, and by the way, 6%, you know, most wealthy people, especially if it was guaranteed or close to guaranteed, maybe it's like a high yield savings account or something, 5-6%. Most of us will be happy with a 6% return on something that we don't really have to look at, that creates that 60,000 a year of passive income. So if you take that $60,000 of passive income from someone who had invested $1 million at 6%, and you break that $60,000, divide it by 12, then guess what? That would be roughly $5K per month in passive income. Okay, so if you can somehow figure out a way, which I'm going to show you a formula here in just a minute, if you can figure out a way how to create at least $5,000 a month of passive income, essentially you are living the same kind of life that someone with $1 million liquid invested at 6%, the same kind of return they're getting, you're getting that return from your passive income, right? So that's why I say that the second kind of millionaire is that passive income millionaire, right? And here's the crazy part, like anyone can do this. Maybe you have a funnel or a website that sells your digital course. And you know, maybe you're selling your digital course for $9.97 and you sell 5 of those a month. Congratulations. You're about the equivalent of a passive income millionaire, right? Maybe you have a coaching program and it's $5,000 and you sell 1 of those per month, and it just sells through your website or it sells through word of mouth and people are just passively purchasing from you. Congratulations. You're also a passive income millionaire. Or maybe you have some kind of digital product or multiple digital products that sell on your website or through your Instagram page or whatever it is, and enough people purchase your digital products every single month, it creates roughly $5,000 worth of passive income, because with digital products, you do the work one time and then you put them out there and then people buy them over and over and over, okay? So if you have something like that and it's generating at least $5,000 a month, congratulations, you are also a passive income millionaire, because that's the same thing as having $1 million invested at 6% every single year, okay? Is that making sense? Drop some fire emojis down in the comments if it's making sense. If you're getting it, let me know in the comments, say, I'm getting it, okay? What's the third kind of millionaire? Let's check this out. The third kind of millionaire is a cash flow millionaire, okay? Now, a cash flow millionaire is someone who generates, not just enough, but someone who generates $1 million a year in cash flow. Now you might be sitting here watching the video going, yeah, I mean, who can generate $1 million a year in cash flow? Anyone can. Honestly, the time frames for this are much, much quicker, especially if you hang on here just for a few more moments. When I get to the formula here in just a few moments, it's going to be like mind-opening, mind-melting, like, wait a second, I can do this, and I am going to do it. Hopefully you're saying that, right? So a cash flow millionaire is somebody who is generating enough cash flow that you're doing at least $1 million a year. And the math on that, guys, it's roughly $83,000 per month, okay? And maybe you have a business. In my case, I love teaching people about digital products. Maybe you have a business and maybe you have digital products that sell. And I have students right now who have done more than $83,000 in a month. I have people who have done hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in my program. They've learned the system and they're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month with their digital products. They have become cash flow millionaires, right? My business does millions and millions of dollars every year. Cash flow millionaire. So anyone can do this. And honestly, if you build your business the correct way, especially the way that I teach in our programs, you can become a cash flow millionaire much sooner than you realize. Like literally within 1 to 2 years, your business can be generating at least $1 million a year. Again, I'll be sharing with you the formula here in just a few moments, okay? And the fourth kind of millionaire is a liquid millionaire. What's a liquid millionaire? This is somebody who has at least $1 million cash. I'm talking about if they wrote a check that for $1 million, that check is not going to bounce, okay? So my question to you is, which one of these do you want to be? Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Which one of these do you want to be? Hopefully your answer is, I want to be all of them, right? Because that's my answer too. What kind of millionaire do I want to be? I want to be an asset net worth millionaire. I want to be a passive income millionaire. I want to be a cash flow millionaire, and I want to be a liquid millionaire. And honestly, because of my digital product business, I am all of these things, and you can be too, right? If you go through the formula that's coming up here in just a few moments, the third grade math, the math that you learned in third grade can literally get you to this place much sooner than you could have ever imagined, okay? So what kind of millionaire do you want to be? The answer should be all of them. So before I get into the formula, I want to share with you actually how my wife and I became millionaires, okay? So this was just 6.5, almost 7 years ago. Probably like yourself, we were hungry for more information. We knew that there was something to do with the internet. We knew that, man, there's opportunity out there. We just don't know what it is and how it works or what's the best one, because there's seems to be a lot of opportunities out there. And we were searching and we were looking and we were doing research. And before you know it, we came faced with an opportunity to join a mentorship program. By the way, I will tell you guys and gals this right now. Mentorship is the shortcut. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments. Drop these words. Mentorship is the shortcut. There are no shortcuts in life except for mentorship. And so we were faced with an opportunity to join a mentorship. And honestly, 7 years ago, it was for a really old school opportunity at the time. And it was to create an online agency. And, you know, for whatever reason, I was like, well, this one looks okay. So my wife and I, we invested and we purchased this mentorship. And at the time, it was like so huge. Like it was, I believe it was $5,000 for the first mentorship that we invested into. And honestly, looking back now, it wasn't even that good of a mentorship. Like it was a few videos, and it was an onboarding video, just a few videos basically. We paid $5,000 for this, but I was like, you know what? It has to work or it has to work. Like we just invested all this money. It's going to work or it's going to work. Which one? It's going to work? Okay, perfect. That's the mindset we went into this with. And so we invested into the mentorship. We learned all of the different strategies and all the different tools. And even though it was like an old school opportunity, an old school system, even though the mentorship itself wasn't even a very good mentorship, because of the knowledge and because of the mentorship we received from what was included in this program, we begin to take massive action. And I will tell you this right now. We begin to build this business exactly how they told us to do it in this old school program, right? And we just started taking action step by step by step by step. And honestly, as an entrepreneur, like you're not doing the entrepreneur thing, right? Unless you're like getting punched in the face every single day, right? This thing broke, or my website shut down, or I forgot about this, or the button didn't work when they tried to check out, or someone told me no, or 100 people told me no, like whatever it is. You're just getting punched in the face left and right. But we didn't give up because it has to work or it has to work. And before you know it, within 6 months of just following this very old school and for 2024, extremely outdated mentorship program, we had made $900,000 in our first 6 months of building that business. And honestly, we didn't even know how much we made. We knew stuff was happening. We started saying, okay, well, we're kind of making money. This is kind of cool. And we didn't even know until we had put our head down and just plowed our field, right? We're like, we're doing this. And 6 months later, we looked up and we had all this money chilling in an account. We're like, what is happening right now? What? And it was at that point where we said, oh my gosh, we made $900,000 in the past 6 months. What is going on here? right? And so all of that to say, like, I'm not smarter than you. I'm not more special than you, right? The only difference is I hired a mentor who taught me a system. I followed the steps, and this mentor had had success in that arena. I followed the steps. I didn't give up, and we became millionaires. The same thing is happening for my students in our programs, guys. Like, my students right now, they're following our steps. They're making tons of money, and they are going for it. I have one guy right now who he's become a millionaire in the past 14 months. 14 months ago, he joined one of my programs, didn't know anything. You know, like, just like me, when I joined my first program, it was like, what is this? Just took massive action, followed the steps, and today they're a millionaire. Okay, so what is this formula that I keep talking about? How do we get there? And is it really as simple as third grade math? I'm glad you asked. Come with me here to the board and let's talk about it here. So here's the punchline, okay? I don't know if you've ever realized this before, but everyone over the course of their life will make at least $1 million. Now, this is obviously relative, okay? This is assuming that you're going to live a long and full life. This is assuming that you start working around 16, 17, 18 years old. This is assuming that you work until you're 50 or 60, right? But over the course of most people's lives, most people are going to make at least $1 million, right? So the punchline is this: building wealth has more to do with speed than it does actually trying to make money. Let me break this down for you. What does that mean? Check this out. Okay, let's say you work at McDonald's. Okay, and maybe at McDonald's you're making $20K a year, okay? Per year, right? Well, guess what? Over the course of 50 years, and if you're making $20K a year for 50 years, right? 20K times 50 years, guess what? After 50 years, you would have made $1 million, right? But my question to you is, why would you want to wait that long? Why would you want to wait 50 years to make $1 million? So when it comes to becoming a millionaire, you've got to get a need for speed. Now listen, I know that we've all grown up being warned about quote unquote get rich quick schemes, right? So many people, well, beware of those get rich quick schemes, right? But here's the bigger scheme. How come no one ever warned us about the stay broke your whole entire life scheme? I have news for you. If you're grown and you're broke, congratulations, you've already been schemed. You've already been scammed. If you're grown and broke, you've been schemed, you've been scammed, right? And think about this, kind of like I said earlier, the same people who are like, money isn't important, are the same people who are spending their whole life trying to make money, right? Those are the same people who are saying, beware of get rich quick schemes. There's a lot of scams out there. But guess what? Those people who are saying that, are they wealthy? Are they rich? Have they got what you would aspire to have? If the question is no, then why in the world would you take any advice from them, right? If you don't have something that I desire, I am not going to take advice from you in that arena, period, right? And most of these people are saying money's not important. You know, oh, if you have a lot of money, you're greedy. Beware of get rich quick schemes. You know, like people who are saying this are just broke people who don't understand how money works, right? So when it comes to building wealth, you have got to understand that wealth has a need for speed. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments right now, drop these words. Wealth has a need for speed. So here's the punchline. You need to create your millions as fast as humanly possible. Why? Because the sooner you can get it done, the longer you can enjoy it with the people that you love the most. Recently, I was on a call with one of my mentors, and I asked him, you know, if there was one thing that you could tell yourself 20 years ago before you started building wealth, what would that one thing be? And without skipping a beat, he said like this. He said, I would tell myself to get it done sooner, to figure it out quicker because of the story I'm about to tell you. He said, when I started building this wealth, this is my coach's story, okay? He said, when I was starting to build my wealth, we were just barely starting to figure out this millionaire math stuff. We were just starting to build wealth. And he said, our whole entire lives, I spent most of my life struggling and trying to make it and just living in poverty. It was terrible. And he said, when we barely started begin to create wealth, I was so excited that I planned a trip to Hawaii for my family. And he said, we were all so pumped, but the one who was the most pumped was my son. And my son couldn't believe it because my mentor said, I told my family, we are going to go to Hawaii and we're not going to leave until we're sick of it. Like, how awesome would that be, right? And so the family was getting ready for this and they were still, a number of months out. And between the time that my mentor had planned the trip to Hawaii with his family and between the time that they went to Hawaii, the son who was the most excited, everyone was pumped, but he said, man, my son was so excited to go to Hawaii. Between the time of planning and the time of actually going, the son got in a terrible car accident and unfortunately passed away a few days later. So my mentor, when I asked him, what would you tell yourself 20 years ago that you wish you would have known then that you do know now? And the answer was, figure it out sooner. Get it done faster, because the faster you can figure this thing out, the longer you can have the money to actually enjoy with the people that you love the most. Guys, stop acting like you're going to be here forever. You're not. Like, if you live a long, healthy life, you're making it to like 80, 90, maybe 100. Like, we need to get some urgency here and stop thinking like, oh man, maybe one day or somewhere out there down the road. Like, no, wealth has a need for speed and we've got to figure this thing out now. So that way we can enjoy it longer with the people that we love the most. Now, remember, like I said at the beginning of the training today, all the math that you need in order to become a millionaire, you learned basically in the 3rd or 4th grade. So come with me here to the board. Now that we are beginning to understand what is a millionaire, why is it important to become one, you need to do it sooner than later, as fast as humanly possible, right? Now that we're understanding all this, let's look at the actual formula. And I think it's really going to amaze you just how simple this formula actually is. So let's check this out. This is the millionaire money math. Okay? Guys, it all comes down to very, very simple math. Like I alluded to earlier, even people who work at McDonald's or Starbucks, if they work there long enough, over the course of a long enough amount of time, they will make at least $1 million. But how many of you know, with this formula that I'm about to give you here, you can literally collapse time. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments. If you want to know the formula, write these words, collapse time. What does that mean? It means I'm going to give you a formula to where it doesn't have to take you 50 years. You can actually do some simple math and you can collapse time. Maybe it's not going to take you 50 years. Maybe you can get this done in 5. Maybe you can get this done in 3. Maybe you can get this done in 1, like my student that I told you about earlier, right? I believe that you can. Let's come to the board here and let's start checking it out. Okay, so what's the millionaire money math? Let's say you have a $20 product, okay? You only need to sell 50,000 $20 products in order to make $1 million. Okay? Now that sounds simple enough. I'm sure there's people watching right now. You might be watching going, 50,000 sales, that sounds like a lot. I agree. I actually agree. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to move some zeros. Watch this, okay? In fact, I need my laser for this one. We're literally going to take this math right here. It's so simple, guys. It's 3rd grade math. We're going to take this 0 and we're going to move it here, okay? So here's what we're going to do. we're going to take this one and we're going to move it over there. So what if you had a $200 product? Now you only need to sell 5,000.
Hey, real quick, if you've made it this far into the video and you're liking it, do me a favor, share this video with somebody that you think might also receive some value. My biggest heart in this channel is to simply bring some awareness, financial literacy, and do it all from a biblical perspective. So go ahead and share the video, like and subscribe, do all that stuff too. Back to the video.
Of these $200 products, okay? It's getting a little simpler now, right? Like, okay, this is making sense. Like, think about that. So selling a $200 product, this is much simpler than you could imagine. Think about this. If you have a product, maybe, again, I teach digital products, right? So maybe you've got a course, maybe you've got a mentorship, maybe you have a training online, you recorded it one time, and then you put it out there, right? Selling a $200 product 5,000 times, it's only like 13 or 14 sales per day. And you might be sitting here going, 13, I could probably do 13 sales a day, 14 sales a day. I mean, it might feel like a little much, but I could probably do that. Guys, it gets even better. Let's keep doing the math. Let's keep moving these zeros. Check this out, okay? We're gonna move these zeros now, and we're gonna move it over here. What if you had a $2,000 product? You would only need to sell 500 of them to make $1 million. What if you had a $2,000 course that was like the most in-depth, most awesome course that you could put together on what you're really good at or passionate about, or that you have experience in, or you have an expertise in? What if you put together a course and you put it out there, you listed it, and you sold 1.5 of those per day? Like, now, guys, the math is getting really easy now. Like, could you make one sale a day? Like, do you think you could? Could you make one sale a day and maybe 2 sales on the weekend and roughly get to 500 sales in the year? The answer is probably yes. Like, I'm telling you right now, to become a millionaire, guys, you really just need to do this simple math, okay? So let's keep going because it gets even better. Watch this. We're going to move this zero here. We're going to bring it over here. Okay, what if you had a $20,000 coaching program? Now you only need to sell 50 of them to make $1 million. Guys, this is one sale per week. Could you sell something once a week in order to become a millionaire? I mean, this math is so crazy simple. It is so crazy simple. You don't have to overcomplicate this. You don't have to go try to figure out a new system, or maybe I could sell crypto, or maybe I can learn drop shipping, or maybe I can do this thing. Maybe I can do the Amazon FBA thing, or Airbnb this, or passive income that. Guys, all you got to do is create products and choose how many times you want to sell them. The math is so simple. The math is so simple, right? What if you had a $20,000 mentorship? And you might be sitting here going, wait, who's going to pay me $20,000? Many people. If you're good enough at what you've done, like maybe you've done the thing that you're passionate about, maybe you've done the thing that you really like and you've done it forever, and you could show people enough information to get them a rapid transformation in that area, many, many, many people would pay you $20,000 to teach them. Like, there are so many people out there who are looking for the premium product. Why do airlines have business class options? Why do hotels have suites? Like, why do concerts have VIP tickets? Because there's always going to be people out there looking to pay for the premium. Because even though you may not be the person who wants the best of everything, there are people out there who are like, I don't want the freebie. I don't want to spend 87 hours on YouTube trying to figure this out. Just give me the $2,000 course. I would love to pay you $2,000 right now, and just show me how to do this. Oh, you have a mentorship? It's only $20,000. Show me how to do the thing. I would love to pay you $20,000. Guys, you only need 50 sales, 500 sales, right? 5,000 sales, depending on where you go with this. But the math gets even crazier. Come with me to the board one more time, okay? What if you had I want you to begin to dream, okay? Dream big now. What if you had a $200,000 high-end coaching or mastermind, coaching program or mastermind? Guys, I have a $200,000 high-end coaching mastermind product, and people pay. People have paid for my $100,000 mastermind product. People have paid for my $200,000. And I will tell you this right now. It is easier to sell the $20,000, the $100,000, the $200,000 product. It's easier to sell those once, twice, 5 times than it is to try to sell the $20 product 50,000 times. It's just easier. And I know your mind might be going, it can't be easier because it's more expensive. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's almost like the more expensive it is, the easier it is to sell. And so when you begin to consider this millionaire math formula, I want you to begin to come up with ideas. Okay, wherever you're at in the journey, come back here to the board with me. Like, and by the way, guys, there's no wrong answer. Like, I'm not necessarily discouraging the $20 idea, but just consider, like, if you do the $20 product, you will need to sell 50,000 of them to get to $1 million. What's the fastest way to get to $1 million? Raise your price and sell less, right? Maybe create that $2,000 course and sell 50 of them. Like, let's focus right here just for a minute, okay? I am telling you right now, maybe you have purchased a course for $500, $1,000, $2,000. Maybe you have sent a kid to college, or maybe you come from a church or ministry background, and maybe you have paid $4,000 for a semester at a specialized school, right? Like, it's not that people don't pay this. People pay this all day, every day. Like, every single one of you watching this right now, you can create products that people would love to purchase. And depending on where you price them, again, let's just focus on the $2,000 course, okay? If you were to create that $2,000 course, you only need 50 sales to make $1 million. Anyone can do this, guys. The punchline is this: all money is created in the mind. What does that mean? It means everything that you tell yourself about your future, you made up. If you tell yourself this idea like, oh, no one's going to pay me, you made that up. If you tell yourself, people would actually probably like that, and maybe I could sell them, you made that up. If you tell yourself, man, I'm going to create this product, I'm going to sell it for $2,000, like Rick said, I only need 50 of them to make $1 million, and people are going to love it. If you tell yourself that, you made it up. Like, everything about your financial future, it's all made up right here. Whether your financial future is looking low or whether your financial future is looking pleasant and prosperous, it all begins right here. So here's my challenge to you. Which area on the millionaire math, okay, are you going to begin? What product are you going to make? Where are you going to start pricing it? I want to know all about it in the comments down below. If you made it this far and you haven't liked or subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this training. Stick around, stay plugged in here to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.